Hi, this is Cindy Fodor with Stamp the Love, and I want to teach you today about sponging and masking. And I'm going to use this cute stamp set called Field Journal. It has these just little sketched animals and plants and berries. So just a really nice little set. And I have been inspired by Michelle Zindorf. If you've seen any of her work, she's a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator who is very, very artsy. And so I do enjoy her work and trying to emulate what she does. So let me get started by, I have my Whisper White cardstock, and that's what we're starting with. I'm going to go ahead and stamp a couple of images on here, and then we're going to mask some things off. So I'm inking the this little plant, and we're going to put him right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp our little chipmunk, and he's going to be on a tree branch, which we're going to have to create. And let me stick him right here. And I want to do one more plant over here, and I just want basically the flower and maybe a leaf. I'm just trying to see through my block here. Let's try that. And then I'm going to add one of these. I'm going to leave that open because I'm going to add another one as soon as I can complete my branch here. You see the branch has been started, so I'm going to go ahead and take my journaling pen, and I'm just going to go ahead and complete this sort of in a sketchy manner like they did, and just add some little texture to it there. And yeah, just putting a little wood texture in here. I'm not an artist, so I am just adding some spots to make it look natural. And I'm going to go ahead and color that in with my, I'm using dark soft suede, and I'm going to just color around the chipmunk here. This alcohol marker blends really well, so it shouldn't leave any marks where it overlaps. Okay. I'm not an artist that can talk while I'm coloring too well. Okay, there we go. I feel like I need to sort of extend this branch here a little bit. It looks like it needs to be growing out a little bit more there. So let's. Okay. All right, now what I want to do is I'm going to just take a Post-it note and put across here. I just want a leaf coming down from here. And I just need this leaf right here. So I'm going to mask off everything else. Make sure my stamp is not extending past that. And I'm just going to stamp that right there. Okay, and I can take that off, and I can see my leaf coming down there. Okay, and we are ready to color. So I'm going to go ahead and color in. The leaves. So I'm going to start with my lightest Old Olive, and I'll just go ahead and throw some color on here. I'm not being really careful. This is a sketched image, so it's not going to hurt if my color goes outside the line, is it? And I might as well get down here in these. And let's go ahead and do the stem a while. Same with that, I'm just throwing the color on there. And I'm just going to come in and add a few dark spots. I'm not even going to take time to blend them in because I think it's going to be wet enough that they can blend on their own. And I think that's good. And let's come over here to the other side and do the same thing. Throw some color in there with my lightest marker. And get this guy here. I'm trying to work fast because I don't want to have to blend it, and I want it to be wet when I throw on the darker color. So I'm trying to work quickly. And the same here. There we go. All done. Okay. Now, I don't want to have to color the flowers. So what I have done is I actually stamped them on the edge of the Post-it note where it's sticky, and I've cut it out really carefully, trying to, at least I've tried to be careful. It's a tiny, tiny little flower, but I want it just to stay white. You could come in with a white gel pen and fill it back in if you needed to, but we don't sell white gel pens anymore, and I do miss them. So I want that to stick down there really good. I didn't cut out two. I'm being lazy, but yeah. Now I also want to, I don't want my little chipmunk to be colored until I color him. I'm going to be shading with some blue, and I don't want anything to happen to him. So I went ahead and masked him as well, and I just chopped off part of the Post-it note. Okay, so I'm going to use Night of Navy and my sponge, and I'm going to start by just going over the edges and darkening them. I want them good and dark. And after I get some of the ink off, I'm going to just come in and start tapping. Oops, I didn't want to color that. I want to stay away from him. I should have just cut out another one. Let's work on just this side so that I don't touch this flower. In fact, I might just put my finger on there so I don't accidentally do that again. All right, so I'm just going to bring color in from the edge. Whoops. Yeah, you have to be careful. With that, I just pulled him completely off. I do need to just tap over that instead of rubbing over that. Let me get him back on here. Okay, let me just get my pokey tool here so I can get him in place. All right, now you stay right there. I've used it once already, as you can see, so it's not as tacky as it should be. So I'm going to just pounce over that instead of rubbing there. And as I come in here, I can just do a little bit of rubbing here. Once again, putting my finger here because I don't want to do that part. And I want a little bit darker color here on the outside, so I'm going to come back in. I really want it dark around this flower because I want that white to really stand out whenever I take that off. Okay, let's go ahead and lift that and get it back over here so I can do this side. And we'll stick that on here. This is a tiny little mask. I've not usually done anything quite this small, but desperate times call for desperate measures, right? I don't feel like I'm on there right. Let me get this one in place. Maybe, maybe not. Oh my goodness, I need tiny hands so that I can grab these. Actually, little tweezers would probably be perfect. Okay, it is not enough, sticky enough anymore. Okay, this is, give me just 1 second to get this guy in place here, and then we will start coloring this side. Okay, I think that'll be good enough. Let's get some color on there. You can see our white flowers over here and how they stand out really pretty. So the more color you get on it, the better it stands out. And I'm just leaving some light color in here because if this is a late a shaded scene, you want a little bit of lightness coming in there. All right, let's go ahead, and I didn't cut out his tail, so I'm just going to have to be careful there. Actually, I could finish cutting out his tail here. Let me do that. I had originally planned this card a little differently, but yeah, I think I like how this is turning out. And I'm not going to worry about where the log is, because that's going to be, it's going to be brown and it's really not going to show up that much. So I probably should just chop this off so I don't end up with some dark marks somewhere I don't want. Okay, now I can go ahead and finish shading down here. And I probably want this to be just a little darker, just because we've got the tree hanging over there. And I'm not worried about where this is and where the leaf is. The green and the blue are not going to cancel each other out there. All right, I think I'm liking it. Let's get this off of here. Now we've got our white flower there. Let's go ahead and color our chipmunk. Hope you're enjoying, if you're trying this at home, how actually very creative you feel when you're doing this. I'm going to go ahead and give him some light crumb cake color on his tail. And I'm going to come in with a little bit of dark on the edges. And once again, just sort of pull those together. And then I'm going to come up here and do his hip area and his feet. And I'm going to go ahead and fill this in. Let's see, let's leave a white spot there. Get his arm. Okay, and then let's get some shading in there. These little lines here are really good indications of where your color will be darker. The creator, the person who designed the stamp, actually helped us by sharing with us these lines that will show us where it should be darker. So that's a really good tip. All right, I think that's it for my little guy. Isn't he adorable? All right, so basically this card is just going to go onto, I'm going to layer it on a piece of early espresso. Let's get that on here. And I did, so the early espresso is let me think, 4.5 by 3.25, I believe. And then this will just layer on here. But I did, I punched out some daisies out of the white, white cardstock. I used the small and the large daisy. And I think, do I have some laying here? Did I use them all? I thought I had some extra ones laying here to show you. Let me see if I can get a small one out of here. I don't think I can. I will go ahead and punch one out of here. So what I did was I just took my daisy this light cardstock will want to get stuck in here for sure. It looks like I cut 3 of them out. So then I just took my sponge dauber and I added a little bit. It's going to be hard to see that, but I added, let's see, where'd my sponge dauber go? There it is. I'm sure it has plenty of ink on it yet. So I just went like this and just lightly dabbed in the center and gave a little twisty motion, and added a small one to one of the larger ones, but I actually did curl them a little bit. I just gave them a little curl with my bone folder. You just have to do it really gently so you don't pull off the little petals. And then I just glue dotted them together, and this is what I came up with, adding these two, but I felt like these were a little too big and I didn't want to add another large one, so I just added a small one here. Not even sure that it needs that one. Still trying to figure out what I want to do there. And I think on this one, because I really like how these flowers both turned out, I may just add one flower to that. Like I said, I did make these loose so that I could remove them. Well, it's not terribly loose. There is it. I tried to tack it with my finger so that it wouldn't be terribly sticky. But I think that I'd like to just add one to this one. And my glue dots ran away. So this is my favorite. The second version is my favorite. So this is the one I'm going to keep. And this is just going to go here like this. So there we go. I think one is plenty for this card. And I hope you enjoyed that. It's really very quick and easy. You can also, if you have a brayer, you can brayer some ink on to get the same idea and a more blended look. But hopefully you can see that okay. I'll bring it up just a little bit. You see how that white really stands out that we masked, and it's just it's just what the cardstock was originally. So I don't know, that's just a wow to me, when you can get that to stand out and look like your whole piece is colored. So all right, well, thanks for joining me today. Watch for this card to be turned into a double slider card. I will give you that information up next. Thanks.